Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the High Functioning Dimwits. It's your boy Kevin, and I'm here with your boy Alex.
What's up?
And before we get anything started, I just want to go ahead and put that nice little plug in there. Go ahead and follow us on social media at HFD Podcast. Yes, I got a little tongue-tied. It's all good, you know. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And finally, after long await, I don't know if you guys were actually waiting that long. I don't know if you guys even cared.
Probably
but
not.
We got, yeah, probably not. But we're on YouTube. We're finally on YouTube. We just got to get the episodes up there, you know. It's all good.
Yeah, the YouTube is where it's at. So if you
guys... that's what you were saying. I thought you were saying like something important. I'm sorry.
No, it's never important when it comes from my mouth.
Oh
Anyways.
my god. All right, so today we'll be talking about mental health. One of the most discussed topics in the world today. So, like, I'm sorry, this is probably going to be one of our more...
It's not going to be downer, but it's going to be pretty deep.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty deep. I don't think it's going to be as happy and light as all the other episodes usually are, but, you know, we're going to try and keep it to a level where, you know, it's going to be entertaining, but also engaging. You feel me?
Yeah, I feel you, but I like to set high expectations, so we're going to blow your mind. No, I'm playing.
All right, now, you need to chill, because when it comes to me, I'm too lazy for all that, so you're going to have to chill out, bro.
No, but yeah, so mental health. A lot of people, you know, talk about mental health nowadays, you know, where it's from everybody from your average Joe to, like, even football stars. Everybody's about mental health and how it affects you on your day-to-day. I'll be honest with you. I'm pretty sure that at least 99% of the population struggle with some type of, or at some capacity struggle a little bit with their mental health.
Honestly, I think that, I mean, I'm not going to say 99, I'm going to say 100, because, like, realistically, no one can be strong all the time, you know?
Yeah, and you're human, only human.
Yeah, and the thing about mental health is, like, suffering from a mental health problem doesn't even necessarily mean that you have a mental illness. You feel me?
Right.
So you could literally be having like a symptom of depression, but you don't actually have depression. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean just go around and say you have depression, because like that, no, chill.
Yeah, I get what you're saying though. But on a daily basis, do you find yourself struggling with like mental health issues in any type of way? And if so, what do you do to help it, to better it, to try to like relax yourself?
So on a daily basis, I'm gonna go ahead and say no.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't think you was gonna hit me with a question this hard. So
I told you it's gonna go deep.
Yeah, man.
Deep.
So realistically, I have had episodes in the past.
Mm-hmm.
They've never been anything too bad, but like I would not want to get out of bed. I'd be like, I wouldn't really feel anything,
right?
But I also wouldn't want to do anything. Like I would literally just exist in a space, you know?
Yeah.
And they were small. They were small episodes. They would last maybe a day or maybe an hour or so I didn't have to worry about it. But there's always a but. Mm. So more recently, in the past few years or so, it's actually hit a lot harder. Mm-hmm. The first time it hit me really hard was, I want to say, it was 2017, the summer of 2017, where it hit me really hard. And that was when I moved down to Houston. Mm. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to work. I didn't want to do my schoolwork at that time. Like, I just wanted, I don't know. I really didn't even know what I wanted, you know?
Yeah. You were a little lost.
Yeah, I was, and it like, when I say it hit me hard, like, I think it was like a solid week, 2 weeks where I literally just didn't even leave my room. It was rough.
It was rough time.
And now, this more recently, literally last week and a half, well, it would have been about a week and a half ago, I actually had the same symptom again.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't want to get out of bed. And even like, if I did get out of bed, I didn't do anything, and I would get back in bed. So, like, the only time that week that I was actually feeling okay was when I got up and did the podcast. Mm-hmm. Legitimately, I just did the podcast, and then right after the podcast, I got right back in bed. It was it was rough. Like I didn't go to work because I have two jobs.
Right.
So I didn't go to work anytime that week. And they actually talked to me about it and everything like that. And now I'm like looking for professional help.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though I'm not suffering from it right now, I don't want to fall back into that phase.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
want to make sure that like I'm able to cope with it in a better way than how I'm coping now.
Yeah, you're trying to like take some precautions.
Yeah, exactly. And I also even called out from Walmart, like, and that's my weekend job. I only go there for 2 days, you know.
Right.
And I couldn't even find the motivation to go there
I
for
feel
both of
that
those
though.
days.
I feel that
So
though.
it's hit me hard, and yeah, but you know, now that you can go ahead and put that me on the spot, like go ahead and share your little experiences with us, bro.
Well, I just wanted to touch on it a little bit because,
God.
like, I think I can speak. Well, not speak for, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people go through the type of thing where, like you said, lack of motivation to get up and do daily things because of stress. And I feel like it's a major player in the whole mental health thing.
Yeah.
But I do think that a lot of other things come into play when you speak about mental health and the actual like mental health. I feel like the term is overused, but the actual like health. You know what I'm saying? Like the actual your brain sanity. You know.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess what I wanted to focus on was what you do to better it. You know, like, well, what do you do to get out of the slump? You know what I'm saying?
I didn't do anything. Like I just wasn't in the slump anymore. And that's the problem. Like I don't know how to cope with it still.
Was it gradually, or was it like a switch?
It's a switch, bro.
Okay.
It just stops and starts, and it's crazy because you never know when it's gonna hit you.
And you know, maybe for the other people it's different, but you know, from what I can remember, I don't think I ever had that many episodes. If I'm being honest, I did hit low points, but like anything at all would never affect me for more than maybe a day.
Okay.
A day or two. But, you know, I say that now, but maybe in the future when other things happen, you know, it might, you know, take a larger toll.
Yeah.
But as of now, you know, I don't really get into that. Or I just I'd like to put things into perspective, man. If I go to a therapist or psychologist, I swear like the first thing they'll tell me is that I'm a very, very logical thinker. So my brain, I feel like, will make me realize, like, all of a sudden they're like, I'm pretty sure I've had this happen to me before, where like let's say I was in a slump, like I didn't feel like doing much the whole day, you know, I felt pretty down, but I would come to the realization that, you know, if I'm putting it into perspective, what I'm feeling right now is like extremely small, or not even compared to what other people feel, not just around here but in other countries and other places, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or what they go through. That's the big point for me. So when I put it into perspective and I think logically like that, it kind of just lights a little fire under my ass. Like, really? I basically look at myself like, really? Like, this is what you're gonna do? Like this, like you're complaining about A, B, and C, when you know you don't even have that bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and that's how I think. But like I said, other people are dealt a different hand in life. You know.
Yeah.
So it might not be that easy for them, and you know that's why they go and seek professional help, or maybe they take the time to, you know, focus on themselves, which, like, that's what I'm doing right now. And I see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm almost there. It's like I'm in a race, bro.
Yeah, and you know, real quick, I don't mean to interrupt you, but like I just want to touch on it real quick. I don't like. I think it's good that you're able to like cope with it that way and tell yourself that, you know, people have it worse and everything like that. And I'm glad you're not the type of person, though. I'm hoping you're not the type of person that put that in onto other people. I don't think you are. You're just like, people are like real sad or depressed, and then you're gonna tell them like, hey, you think you're sad or depressed? Look at how they have it over there, you know?
No, yeah, I don't really do that.
Yeah, because I feel like that's a dick thing to do, especially when people are like they already don't know how they're feeling, or they're trying to figure out a way to cope with the way that they're feeling. Like, you can't just tell them, like, hey, they have it worse. Like, people are, yeah, they have it worse, but I'm also feeling bad right now. I'm sorry that I'm feeling bad, and you don't like the fact that I'm feeling bad.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's another form of thinking that I have, because okay, like if someone, like say like me, if I'm able to logically think that, what I said earlier about, putting things into perspective, I'm also able to figure out that there are other, outlying factors that comes to play when it comes to another person, a specific person. Nobody is the same, you got to be in that person's shoes for a day, then you go back and like, oh, well, maybe they're this because of this way, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, if I go up to somebody and they tell me they're feeling down or whatever, of course maybe I'll tell them, how I deal with it. Maybe it helps them, maybe it doesn't. But I do think that's where people differ, which is great segue into my next little topic. I've read.
You just love your little segues.
I do love my segues, man. They're the little things that keep you going in life. Have to do with today's topic. But I've read a few articles beforehand, and there's a big argument right now in the medical field that's arguing whether or not, like, the whole mental health, depression, anxiety type thing has to do with a chemical imbalance in the brain.
Okay.
Now, I don't want to get out of my area of expertise. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not even a therapist or a psychiatrist. But that argument makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, you go up to them and be like, "Why are you feeling so down?" They're not gonna hit you with a straight answer. They're just gonna tell you that they're feeling down. Yeah. So maybe that has to do with a chemical imbalance. Maybe it's a imbalance of things like dopamine or a type of depressant that your brain produces. And that's why I brought up thinking logically, because when I think about that, I'm like, well, of course you're going to be feeling down. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you could put it on paper, I'd be like, holy shit, well, this is the reason why, and this is also the reason why, and your brain has this, and this. Like, that's the reason why. And I feel like that's such a smarter way to look at it. But that's the thing. Other people think that it's like a myth. They think that it's not true, that they correlate the chemical imbalance to when people start drinking and whatnot and things like that. So I get that, but alcohol is also a depressant.
Yep. And that's what I've been trying to tell people for the longest time. Like, it's a depressant, it just along with, like, I know it's not like marijuana. It's not a stimulant, it's a depressant. And people I think that's what a lot of people are using to try and cope with it these days, marijuana. But that's not the way you deal with that, man. You have to actually talk that out. You have to get professional help, because as you were saying, I've only studied psychology for a little bit. I'm not entirely knowledgeable on it, and it doesn't matter, because most people think psychologists are quacks anyway. So as you were saying, about how there's a chemical imbalance inside of your brain, when they do scans of people who are depressed, they can see that.
Right, exactly. Yeah. That's the thing. That's the big argument, Yeah. So the point that some people take is like, well, if they're also drinking, doing weed, doing all this other shit, maybe on other type of drugs, then that's what you'll see in the brain. But that's not the point.
That's not the point at all.
The point is that they're doing that because they feel down. So so you had to take that out of the equation. Maybe you don't drink or do anything hard for a few weeks. Go back and get it checked out, and I bet that it will still read the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's what people are arguing nowadays, and I like to keep up with it, because if it's actually something that a doctor can go in and scan and like show you an actual image of, then it makes a lot more sense to people. And I think a lot of people struggle with finding the reason as to why they feel that way. And not like a lot of people from the outside can look into them and be like, well, why? And they don't even know the answer. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that could help a lot of people figure out why.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, another reason why, you a lot of people just don't know what the cause of these things are, period. Like, it just comes out of nowhere, like anxiety. No one knows, like, what the fuck? one day one time you're just cool, you're chilling, you're at home doing nothing or watching TV, cooking. You could be doing anything and it just strikes. You could be at work and it just strikes, and it's gonna send you into this mass panic. And and a lot of people like to deny about anxiety as well. But have you seen people after they have like panic attacks and everything like that?
I have
Like
firsthand.
it's different. Like you can see the difference in their face, like the veins, they're visible in the near the eyes and everything like that. And just like their eyes bloodshot red, or there are different things that happen. Like anxiety, it's real. This type of stuff is real, and people just want to deny it outright because maybe they haven't experienced it, or and they haven't had anyone else experience it near them. And since no one else has experienced it, or they haven't experienced it, it's not real.
Right,
Like
right,
that
right,
one
right.
that one journalist who believes that germs aren't real because he can't see them. So that
That is such a stupid argument.
that is the dumbest thing
Anyways,
I've ever heard. He doesn't wash his hands. Like whoever hired this man, y'all need
ugh.
to bro. He works around other people. Y'all need to get this man.
Side note: if I see this more often than I would like to see it, but if you go into the restroom, you don't wash your hands and you just walk out. You're
Fucking disgusting.
You're disgusting.
Oh my
You're disgusting
God,
human
dude.
being. Don't
Fucking
come near me. Don't touch my food.
Oh.
Don't do no. Oh, I swear to God, I'd be
Dude,
giving you
I
50
would,
feet without you even knowing, bro. I swear.
dude. No, I fucking hate that shit because like if I have to go to the restroom and they do that shit, like there was a dude. I'm not gonna name any names. He used the restroom. He went number 2.
Okay. Took it down.
And like
Okay.
he didn't fucking wash his hands afterwards. He touched
so
the door and
gross.
everything. And
That's
I'm
so
like, bro,
fucking gross.
I just washed my hands.
That is
I don't
so
want to
gross,
touch
bro.
that shit.
I don't
So
even-
I have to I have to wash my hands. I have to save my paper towel to like open the fucking door and
That
whatnot.
is
Bro,
so
that shit is gross.
But anyways, it's really gross. Please wash your hands. Anyways,
Please.
so back to what I was getting at. So I have experienced not anxiety attacks myself, but I've experienced other people having it like right in front of me. Like I've had to comfort people that have anxiety attacks,
Yeah.
and the only way I think a lot of people run towards antidepressants, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think the best possible thing you can do right now if you're dealing with that is to go to a professional, because that's the best
Definitely.
thing we have to offer. Us as like a species is the best thing we have to offer is somebody who can tell you how to deal with it, or how to prevent it, or how to not necessarily fix it. I don't know if it can be fixed just yet. We're not that far into it, but
Well, see,
yeah.
there's no the
Uh-huh.
way when you're looking at it. Like I'm not saying you're trying to demonize it or anything, but people trying to demonize it, and they're saying like you can be fixed and everything like that. Like
No, yeah, I don't think so.
there is no fixing it, but at the same time, there's nothing to be fixed. It's not a mental illness, and your mental health is not the end of the world. You can still live with it. You just have to learn how to manage it.
Right. I think that's the better word for it, managing it.
Mm-hmm.
Coping with it, managing it, but you brought up something, and it's really interesting to me because I felt like maybe I even blocked it out a little bit, but recently, maybe like a year ago, I found out something about myself. So I was at the mall. I was at the Galleria Mall, the busiest mall in Houston.
Fucking love it and hate it at the same time.
I don't like going, but anyways, I used to live like 10, 15, or 5 to 10 minutes away from it, right? So I went, and I was with my ex at the time. So there's so many people, right? I think this was during the summer, and we were trying to get something to eat, right? So we try to go get something to eat. We try to find a table. There's so many people. It's like ants, like ants, bro. And I'm starting to get a little anxious talking about it, and that's the point. So I was there. I sat down, and all of a sudden I start sweating. Like I start getting a little pale, according to the my ex who I was with, and the mere fact, like, I couldn't even eat what I had in front of me, because I was like, I didn't know what was going on. Like, I didn't know what was going on with me at all. And then later, someone told me, like, oh dude, you probably had like a little panic attack.
Yeah.
or something. And then I thought about it. I'm like, oh shit, I guess you're right. And I thought about what might have triggered it, and it was the fact that I was in basically a crowd of people rubbing elbows with them, and I couldn't. It to me, I guess the reason why I had the little panic attack was because I can't it takes one idiot to just do something, and then everything goes off in a crowd of people.
Yeah.
Like somebody can just come up and say something, or somebody can be like, hey, he's got a gun, and then it's a mass panic. And
man.
And then that's what I was anxious about. I guess the fact that I can't control, there's a lot of things that I can't control in that environment is what made me what made me get that little panic attack. It wasn't full-fledged, and it was probably didn't hit me that hard because I left. We left. We just straight up left the whole mall. I think we were only there for 10, 20 minutes, but I was like, yeah, maybe we gotta go. Cause I didn't feel like staying. Cause I literally, bro, I was sweating. My face looked pale. I was even starting to shake a little bit. So I was like, you know what? Let's just leave. We'll go to a different mall. We'll go to a different store or something. Because I think we were Christmas shopping. If I remember correctly.
Okay.
But
honestly, I have a similar story, but I'll get back to it really quickly after this break. All right, so really quickly, I just want to touch on this subject so we can move on to whatever else you need to talk about. Literally, same place. It was at the Galleria in Houston.
Right.
And I ran into my ex.
No shit. Oh,
yeah.
Damn, that's a kind of
so
worse.
I was hanging out with a couple. Yeah, dude. So I ran into a couple of. I was hanging out with a couple of friends, and we were hanging out, and we were just walking around the Galleria the day because it was a little hot outside. Houston summers are worse than a lot of places because all that fucking humidity. Ugh. But we were just chilling, walking around, and then I saw her, and I was like, oh. I took a deep breath, and it was fine because she was far away. And at that point, she hadn't noticed me. So it was cool.
Yeah.
We walked away, and then we went downstairs towards, where the ice rink usually is.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, tell me why.
She came up next to you.
Bro, she was right next to me, bro.
Oh, my God.
Right next to me. And, I saw her trying to hide, trying not to make eye contact with me.
Oof,
and I was already trying not to make eye contact with her, but I guess the entire situation, I didn't talk to her, I didn't say anything to her, I didn't touch her. Bro, I was sweating.
Yeah.
My face turned pale, I was shaking, and my heart literally just started pumping 100, so fast.
Yeah,
It felt like it was trying to burst out of my fucking chest. But I had literally, the entire situation was so bad, I had to go and sit down.
Right.
I had to go and sit down, and I just couldn't move.
See, that's a good example of how people are different. You had a little episode because of one person. I had a little episode because of many people.
Yeah.
That's how you definitely know that it affects people differently. Nobody's the same. But the best thing you can do about it is go see somebody about it.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know how I feel about antidepressants.
Okay.
Because I feel like a lot of people, do get help from them, but I also feel like a lot of people get worse off of them.
Yeah, and I can understand that because the side effects are literally you can end up dead.
Yeah.
Legitimately, they increase the chances of suicide and everything like that as well, as adverse side effects. So it's what the fuck,
Yeah.
I'm trying to not do all of this, and it's not even guaranteed that you're trying to do that to begin with. But once you start taking it, then you want to,
Right.
It's terrifying.
I feel like it's something that's too risky for someone to take, especially if your situation is a little more critical.
Yeah, I feel that.
So I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe you can say I'm on the fence, but I also wanted to talk about I guess what causes it, but I don't really want to say what causes it. More in which situations do you see mental health become more of an issue in one individual versus another individual? So what I'm getting at is basically how people are raised. So if things not necessarily with your parenting skills, although I do think that might have something to do with it, but If you're raised in like say a home that maybe is no communication, or maybe they're all about putting their issues under the rug. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it is like a parenting style.
Okay.
Maybe those issues will come back when you're an adult, and all of a sudden maybe you have flashbacks. Maybe you have suppressed memories that come, crashing you down. You have an episode in the middle of some place. Maybe it's due to trauma. Maybe it's something that happened to you, which I think is often, a lot of the times, the reason people have such bad mental health problems is because they've been through some type of trauma,
Yeah.
So, yeah, basically that's what I wanted to get at. Because in my opinion, in my personal opinion, I feel like a good and stable home is better at dealing. Well, in the long run, it won't affect you as much, in my opinion. I feel like if you struggle with it and you've been through some stuff, I feel like people who were raised in, like, let's say a 2-parent household where parents were actually there, it's kind of weird. I can't really put it into words. It's just people who were struggling throughout their childhood, I feel like have the effects, how you can see it on them more. That's basically what I'm getting at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What do you think?
When it comes to that, I since I've left Houston and come to college and everything like that, I've met all different types of people.
Yeah, I bet
I'm gonna
you have.
like straight out. So I'm just gonna talk about friend A and friend B.
Okay.
I don't want to put any names out there. So friend A was raised in a particularly nice environment.
Okay.
They were their family was pretty well off. They took vacations. They spent a lot of time together. The family was really educated, and if problems arise, they knew how to handle it, and just stuff like that. And friend B was from the hood, raised by one parent,
right?
And didn't have all those advantages and everything like that. Well, friend B doesn't have those same problems as friend A has.
Okay, so friend A struggles with things like mental health, anxiety, depression. Friend B doesn't.
Yeah, friend A, because friend A, friend A just lived a nice life,
right?
And had no problems or anything, but it just happens out of nowhere, and that's what happened. It just happened out of nowhere. It hit him, and he's been dealing with it ever since. It's hard to deal with it, but he's been dealing with it ever since.
Okay, now, but question. Do you think that has to do more with how different they are, like as people, or more with their parents' parenting style?
I honestly...
Or do you think it's a mixture of both?
In my opinion, I don't think it really factors in at all. I'm being completely honest, I don't think that any of the factors that happen when they were younger has anything to do with it. Now,
okay. You think it's like something that just comes into play later on for them, for that specific person.
Yeah, it just happens because, like, now I could see if we were talking about something like PTSD. PTSD is something that's caused by trauma or anything like that. Right. Something that really something that really just disturbs your inner peace when you are younger or whatever. If we were talking about something like that, then I would say, yeah, for sure, it's it's the parenting style or some of the stuff that happened in the environment that's the reason why they have PTSD. I would probably agree with you.
Right.
But when
that
it
makes
comes
sense.
when it comes to like anxiety, depression, things like that, I don't really think that it has anything to do with how that person is or how the parents treated them or anything like that. It just happens,
Right.
You never know when it happens. And with that being said, friend B is still good right now, but friend B could have like depression down the line,
Right. I get what you're saying. It makes sense. It makes sense what you're saying. Like I guess what I was like trying to get at is like if you've were raised in an environment where you communicate properly, you know how to express your feelings, You know, maybe if that problem occurs, like at friend A, maybe he has a better time dealing with it. You know.
Now that, yeah, okay.
That's
what you
what
explained it, yeah.
Yeah, that's
now
what I was
that's
at.
true. Since they've been raised in that environment where they know how to actually speak on it and actually, talk about their emotions, they're not afraid to let anything out like that, then yeah, they are gonna have a much better. I feel they're gonna have a much better go.
Right. That's my whole point. Cause if you're, man, it's really what I'm trying to get is a lot of negligent parents that don't know.
Yeah.
Don't really know how to deal with that type of stuff. Maybe it's because, they're dealing with the same type of stuff. Maybe, they have their own issues, but it comes down to responsibility.
Yeah, I feel that.
You had this kid. Maybe it was on purpose. Maybe it was an accident. But you had him.
Yeah.
So now you have a responsibility to teach this individual the proper way to go about conducting him or herself, or itself, from a non-binary people. I feel like it's your responsibility. So
yeah.
That's why I brought that up, because you could set them up for failure, you know what I'm saying? Or you can give them some tools that'll help them down the line if something happens to them, like where they get anxiety or something like that. It's a big difference.
Oh yeah, and I feel that, and what you're saying, I honestly feel is really important because of the fact that, like, a lot of people's parents are suffering and they're not opening up and they're not letting other people know.
Right, like a cycle, like a vicious cycle.
Exactly, and so they're not. I understand that they're going through a hard time, everything like that, and it's hard to open up. And sometimes they never open up. Period. They just suffer in silence, and that happens a lot. That happens to a lot of different people, a lot of different communities.
Yeah.
But let's just say in a family setting where it's just the traditional family, two parents, 2.5 kids, because you can have half a child. So I don't know why they consider that a statistic, but in the traditional household like that, say that one of the parents is actually going through a really rough time and they don't speak on it. This parent knows how it feels, they know what it is, and they see the signs in their child, but they still won't open up about theirs, and they let's say they never do until they die. But they teach their kids how to deal with it. I'm not saying that's the right way to do it, because I still believe that the parent should still open up and also get help. I believe it's still setting the right example, because it's teaching your kid how to deal with the situation, how to not suffer in silence, but you're also killing yourself, because you're not helping yourself. You're helping someone else, but you're not helping yourself.
Yeah, it's kind of like taking your own advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people live by that do as I say, not as I do mentality. And which it hurts a lot of people, because once again, this person is suffering as is.
Right. That's a very
but they're not allowing their kids to suffer. That's
a very black and white thing. Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
But I wanted to end on, I think I asked it earlier, but I don't know if you. Oh, I think you maybe you did answer, but I wanted to say things that I deal with, or things that I do when, say, I'm having a down day, or my day.
You say you think about it logically, bro. What you mean?
Well, I mean, things besides that, like things that I do, small things that just help me when I'm feeling down. The top thing is music. Oh my god, if I have the best playlist on. You can't tell me nothing, bro. My day is going like my day is going insane. But here's the thing: music is one thing, but I feel like it's more of like you're looking at it as a work of art type thing. Because if you put on headphones and you really listen to good music, oh, by the way, not just any music. I'm sorry if I've been a little snobbish about my music, but it's gotta be.
I'm sorry. It's okay. I understand, because I don't listen to the baby. So
listen, I don't chill out to the baby. That's for you gotta be in a certain mood. Yeah, I'm probably in my car jamming out, going 70 on 610 if I'm listening to the baby. But
wait, you reach 70 on 610? How?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Actually, don't even answer that question. Maybe you're remembering bro, I just look. I haven't been in Houston in a while. Okay, I don't.
70 miles per hour going down 610 is what I
Hey,
meant.
bro, six. No. I feel what you're saying. Like I was thinking, like a lot of traffic happens, but I don't actually remember 610 always being backed up with traffic all the time.
No. Yeah. You're right though. If I go in at a time where there's a lot of traffic, I'm not really going that fast.
Yeah,
Matter of fact,
that
I'm
was
going
that was
pretty
my
slow.
original joke, but you killed it, and then you made me like question myself because of the fact that I didn't really drive as much in Houston.
But say like if I'm going home like at 8 o'clock, so most of the time I go home at around 8 o'clock, and there's no traffic,
Yeah,
so I'm usually
yeah,
jamming out. But sometimes it's more of like if I'm listening to an actual song,
hmm,
and if a song is produced well, you get to really appreciate everything that went into making that song. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And that doesn't just go to music. That goes with like music and even things like pictures.
yeah,
Um, it could really change your mood. At least it does for me. Like if I put in
yeah.
like over the ear headphones and just completely zone out to a song that is really good, I swear it. And you focus on your breathing.
Hmm.
To me, that's like a mood changer.
Okay,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
feel that. I feel
But
that.
do you have anything like that? The things that you do that make you feel a little happier, a little better when you're
So
feeling down?
yeah, I think I answered it earlier, and I feel like I may have given a wrong answer because I felt like you were saying like something that just immediately makes you better or just
Right.
puts you in that mood. No, I don't think there's anything that's gonna make you better like immediately or anything like that. But I
Mm-hmm.
do. I listen to music, I chill out. See, and you and me are different levels when it comes to music because, I hit somebody with that Mozart or Bach or something like that real fast. I don't care. Or
Yeah,
I'll listen
okay,
to
but it
a
goes.
musical.
Yeah, it goes back to the work of art thing, which probably
Yeah,
comes into more to play if you're listening to Mozart. But yeah.
yeah. And so, like, my thing, but here's my thing. Most people don't want to consider this a work of art, but it is. It's a work of art.
Uh oh.
Games.
Hot take.
Games are a work of art.
Hot
Dude,
take.
bruh, chill. Like, okay. No, but real talk, like, bro, games are like an escape, you know?
Yeah.
It's you being able to live a different life that you probably will never be able to live.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. I
And
like. Yeah.
it's a easy getaway, and I've always been able to do that because I've been gaming since I was at the size of my knee. I was like, I was real tiny.
Yeah. I was in. I mean, I do the same sometimes, but not as
Mm.
often as now. Mostly because I barely have the time.
Yeah, I
But
feel that.
if I do still get in the mood to turn my Xbox on and just basically like you said, just escape for a little bit.
Yeah.
I know like this is a perfect example. I know somebody who before their 6 a.m. shift or before their like I think 7 a.m. shift will
Mhm.
hop on and play a game of 2K.
Oh
and
no.
and then go to work because it's like
Oh no.
drinking a cup of coffee to them. But this is this is an example. It's
See,
like how the
but
people view it.
See, and here's my thing. I don't play 2K. I'm gonna put it out there right now. Like I don't play it. First of all, it's rage inducing, bro. They begin wild with that shit,
I
bro.
mean,
And
you're
I'm
right.
like, how am I supposed to chill out if I'm already having a bad day? Or actually, you know what? I can't say that because this is 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm just waking up. I don't want to get out of bed.
Right.
How's this supposed to like encourage me to get out? But at the same time, this isn't. That's him. That's not me.
Yeah, to each their own.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah.
But no, I definitely couldn't do it. Not 2K. Jeez, no. I'd come to us, bro. When I pull up and work, everybody gonna be like, "What's wrong with Kevin? Oh, he was playing 2K today, so now he's gonna punch your lights out, bro. He lit already, bro. He ain't even had no alcohol, no drink, nothing. He just here to fuck some shit up. I don't really
You're
think that
going-
games cause violence. I'm gonna put that out there right now.
Games don't cause violence.
Games
People
don't
need to
cause
move on
violence.
from that, man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. We're
mostly
gonna go ahead and move on.
mostly hard right conservatives that argue that games cause violence. But we're not gonna get into that.
Nah,
Since it's now on YouTube, we should ask people. So let us know. Let us know if you deal with mental issues or if whatever you do to help, or whether it be something small like video games or something like go to therapy. Let us know. Maybe you'll help somebody out with any information that you give out.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do some. I know there are some links for people that actually need to reach out and stuff like that. If you've made it to this point in the video, I hope you have.
Yes.
Because I know we get off topic a lot, but I just there are resources out there for people who really need it, and it would be better if you actually reach out and get in touch with those people because every life is valuable. Everyone brings something to the table.
Of course, we'll put it all in the description.
Yeah, and also like just not even just putting the resources out there. Like, I know it's taking me a long time, and I'm preaching to, like, I'm trying to preach to the choir, and I won't even listen to myself. But seriously, if you have a mental illness, or you believe you have a mental illness, or you suffer from something, and you want to make sure, get yourself checked out.
Yeah.
Go get help. Definitely, more than anything, what I just learned, a lot of times, it may not even be a mental illness. Mm-hmm. You literally may just need a checkup.
Right.
And it may be something serious like low blood sugar, or it could be like the early onset of diabetes or anything like that. Like you want to stop that type of stuff before it starts because it can get really bad. So definitely reach out, get help, see your doctors if you need to, see a therapist, specialist. Do that.
Couldn't hurt.
Suffer. Don't suffer in silence.
Couldn't hurt. Just. Get yourself some help. Try to treat yourself right. Treat yourself. 2019.
Yeah, treat yourself. 2019. Well, we're going into 2020. Let's say treat yourself 2019, 2020, and every day. Just every day.
Right.
Treat yourself every day. There
you go. There you go.
All right, so
I
think that's it.
Well, appreciate you guys listening. Please check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and now YouTube. Also, iTunes. If you have an iTunes account, please stop by and give us a 5-star review. We'd greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, also on the Facebook page, because the Facebook page doesn't have any reviews. From what I've heard, we actually have to get some recommendations first. Recommend your boys. We're actually we're okay dudes. Just put us out there.
Do us a favor.
Yeah, scratch our backs and we'll try and scratch yours. I don't know how it's gonna work though, because it's just. We're not physically next to each other, so.
But wash your hands. Just remember.
Yeah, please
wash
your hands. I don't want any infected scabs on my back.
Too many details. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.